The Trump administration texted the personal phones of Barnard professors to ask them if they were Jewish, which I'll say just a little free advice to Team Trump. I talked to a few Jewish folks. Turns out, kind of crazy, Jewish people generally not huge on getting government correspondence asking them to identify themselves. But yeah, according to The Intercept, which first reported the news, most staff at the Columbia-affiliated women's college received text messages from the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, with those texts reportedly saying that the EEOC was reviewing the school's employment practices and asking them to complete a voluntary survey about their employment. And then, according to a screenshot of the survey shared by the New York Times, when respondents clicked the link, they were asked to select from the following choices: I am Jewish, I am Israeli, I have shared Jewish-Israeli ancestry, I practice Judaism, and other. With the Times then also reporting that a later question asked staff whether they had experienced anti-Semitism or anti-Israel sentiments, as well as, quote, anti-Semitic or anti-Israeli protests, gatherings, or demonstrations that made you feel threatened, harassed, or were otherwise disruptive to your working environment. And after that text message went out, Barnard's general counsel sent an email to faculty, which was obtained by The Intercept, informing them that the survey was part of the EEOC's ongoing investigation into alleged discrimination against Jewish employees, with the email also stating that the EEOC was legally entitled to obtain the contact information of Barnard's employees to send out the option to voluntarily participate in their investigation, and that Barnard had complied with the request. But very notably here, you also had the Columbia student newspaper reporting that Columbia had warned faculty in an email that it would be sending their personal contact information to the federal government. But this, as Barnard faculty members said, they did not receive the same warning, with, for example, one Barnard professor who reportedly spoke on the condition of anonymity telling The Intercept that they were not aware of any professors at Columbia outside of Barnard receiving the text, though they also said that several students had received it as well. And in her email, Barnard's general counsel appeared to admit that administrators had failed to inform faculty that they were sharing their personal information with the government, instead writing that in the future the school would provide advance notice when it was required to hand over contact information of employees unless they were legally prohibited from doing so, and then adding that the Trump administration had not given the school advance notice that it was sending the messages. Right, but with all this, one of the things we've seen is many faculty members expressing alarm about the text and the fact that Barnard shared their personal information with the government without notifying them. With this, including Nara Milanich, a history professor who said that it reminded her of Italy in the 1930s when local governments put together lists of Jews, and adding, we've seen this movie before and it ends with yellow stars. But they're then also going on to argue that the Trump administration appeared to be fishing for reports of anti-Semitism, saying, evidently, they don't have sufficient people to file lawsuits, so they have to go shake the trees to find people. You also had Debbie Betcher, an associate professor who's Jewish, and received a text saying that as a Jew, she found it a bit terrifying that the federal government, quote, wants to know who the Jews are through some text message in Microsoft Office form. With Betcher also arguing that as a Jew, she doesn't believe that the Trump administration actually wants to combat anti-Semitism, but just crack down on pro-Palestine speech, saying, the administration of white nationalists has never been interested in anti-Semitism, an administration that is full of hate. It is farcical to say that what this is actually doing is protecting us from anti-Semitism, and adding, the government is weaponizing the EEOC in service of their own hatred and in service of their own desire to destroy higher education. And actually, that last point was echoed by other professors who told The Intercept that they're concerned that the Trump administration is using EEOC as a weapon to attack faculty who've spoken out against Israel on college campuses. And given these concerns, you had Becker arguing that it's especially alarming that Barnard shared the personal information of its staff with the government, and adding, they're providing us with absolutely no assurances that they're protecting us and even just protecting information about us that is private. Hey, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this clip from the full Philip DeFranco show. And also, a big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring our Clips channel. Turn your passion into profit over at squarespace.com/Phil, or use the QR code. Because whether you're launching a business or a lucrative side hustle, your website is your digital business card. It's the only space where you control the story, no algorithms or distractions. And with Squarespace, it's so easy because they got a ton of stunning professional templates with drag and drop editing that makes site design incredibly simple, no coding required. So get started for free at squarespace.com/Phil, or scan the QR code on screen and use code Phil for 10% off when ready to launch. Squarespace.com/Phil.